Hi there, how's it going? It's Fon here. Thanks for joining me. Today I would just like to have a very basic intro look at some of the software that you can use for making 3D models, 3D software drawing. I believe the Rolls Royce of 3D modeling is AutoCAD, and then there are other ones like, for example, SolidWorks and Fusion 360. But the one that I use, which I've found excellent considering it's free, is Sketchup. So you go to sketchup.com, provided by Trimble. Now, just before I jump in, I want to show you a most excellent little trick is to use shortcuts. So here is a list of the main shortcuts that you can use a lot of the time in SketchUp. Very, very helpful, very, very useful. There are two shortcuts not shown. H is the hand tool and O is the orbit tool. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a little look at some SketchUp modeling. Just the very, very basics. Please do look at the real experts giving the other tutorials on YouTube. This is just a quick overview of what I've found works for me. Okay? So when you open it up, I think she's called Helen. She's there by default. We're just going to highlight her and hit delete for now because we want to make some little models. Okay, so over here you've got your toolbar. And for example, there's the eraser. I can click on that and call up the eraser, right? But a quicker, better, easier way is just hit E. Okay? And again, you know, there's the line tool, but I can just hit L for line. Okay? So let me show you a couple of little tricks here. I'm going to hit R for rectangle. And the best place to start your model is in at the origin points of your X, Y, and Z axes. So Z is blue is going up, and obviously these correlate to your 3D printer as well. So you start at your origin point, you click once, and you come out starting to make your rectangle. Now, my advice is don't do random measurements. Pick a measurement and stick to them. So do you see the bottom right over here, we've got measurements appearing. I'm going to, let's say, we're going to do a 50 millimeter, comma, by, let's say, 40 millimeter model. And then you hit enter. Watch. Okay, now we need to zoom in. Oh, and always, 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 if you're using SketchUp or any of these other programs, always make sure you have a scroll wheel mouse. Without it, you're just wasting your time because you can zoom in with your scroll wheel. Now, that's gone off to one side. Look, H, hand tool. So I'll put it back, zoom in more with my scroll. Now, I want to show you a couple of other little tricks. Very, very useful tool is O for orbit. Okay, so that's your orbit tool. Very, very useful. Okay, let's have a look at some of the things that we can do with this. For example, the arc tool. There are a number of them, but a basic arc comes up when you hit A for arc. SketchUp is brilliant. It always tells you when you're on your midpoint. So we're just going to go from a midpoint over tangent to the edge. We could go to the midpoint. Yeah, let's go to the midpoint. And we click that again. Now, we call up our eraser and watch if we clip that off. We've now made a shape. Let's say we didn't want it curved. Let's say we wanted a straight line. I'm just going to call up the orbit. Just going to show you, like we can make a shape here. Just going to go from the corner to the end point. Again, we call up the eraser and we. Actually, I'm going to zoom in. I left a little line accidentally there, so we get rid of that. Okay, now for some real magic. That's just a flat shape at the moment. Are you ready? Extrude or push pull, and we press our P shortcut. And again, don't go to a random size. So click on it once, don't go to a random size, go to an exact size, let's say 20 mil. we write 20 and we hit enter. Okay. It's looking a little bit like the top of a grand piano. Anyway, so that's gone from being a flat shape. Suddenly we've got a 3D shape. I'm just going to zoom and orbit slightly. Now let's look at if we want to edit that further. I'm going to call up the line shape again. I'm just going to randomly take a bit. What I want to do is, and again, see, look, you know, that's a random line, right? Here, I'm on the green line that's recommended by Sketchup. And again, look, it can be any random measurement, but you see bottom right, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's say we go for 10, just to keep stuff accurate. And again, from there, we're going to follow the red line. That's a random line, that's a red line. And you always want to follow your recommended lines. Okay, now watch this. If I want to cut a shape, that shape, into this random shape that I've created, again I'm going to cut, oh yeah, first of all, look, tape measure, T. Very, very good to keep on top of your measurements, okay? So we know that's exactly 20 mil. Let's say if we wanted to mark off a point, okay, that's 50. Let's say we wanted to mark off the midpoint, let's just say, at 20, 25 mil. And so on, okay? So that's how you do your markers. Anyway, enough about the tape measure, but the tape measure is incredibly useful. I want to show you a little trick. I'm going to call back the push-pull or extrude tool. I'm going to click on here and watch this. Click once, we come down and say it's making a step, but I want to cut that away in this case. So look, I'm going to click 20 and hit enter. We know it was 20 high. Watch. That's how you cut shapes away. And you can do, you know, lots of other things, like, for example, I could call up C, circle tool. I can go onto the face here. Again, you're measuring the radius, so you take note. In this case, let's go with, let's say, 4 mil. Click enter. Watch this. Again, the push-pull tool. We go in there and we push, and then again we tell it an exact amount. Let's say 5 mil. Okay, and I'll just show you. Okay, I'm using my orbit tool there again. So, as you can see, Sketchup is an amazing tool, and if you want, then you can do paint bucket, and then it brings up materials or colours. Okay, so in a moment I'm going to show you some things that I've done earlier. Okay, and if you want colours, they're just in there. Let's just say we wanted to make the top of that red. And then, you know, if we wanted to make the bottom of it blue. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you, here's one I made earlier. Okay, I'm going to show you two quick models that I made earlier. So we're going to go to, and of course, look at the end, if you're using a 3D printer, whatever you've made, you go to Export, STL. And then you feed that into Repetier, your host, or whatever you're using yourself, and from there into your 3D printer. So let me just quickly show you two things that I made earlier. One is flying amphibious craft idea that I've been working on for a few years. Let's just close that. Let's call up the orbit tool. Okay, so as you can see, you can make quite complex shapes. Okay, I'm just going to call up one that I just threw this next one together in 5 minutes just before making this vid, just to give you another idea. Where's it gone? Test house. 1 second. Okay, so I hope you've found this video a little bit of use to you. There are some of the basics. As I say, there are lots of excellent tutorials on YouTube, and this was just to give you a little flavour of what's possible with Sketchup. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was some use, and hopefully see you again in some other video soon. Thanks for watching. All the best. Bye.